Welcome, welcome all of our virtual audience to this beautiful Monterey Sunday, June 28th, the last in our series on love, which is my favorite topic because really that's all there is, right?
Testing on two. One moment, please.
I did? We are a philosophy, a faith, and a way of life. We're delighted you are celebrating with us as we conclude our June series on higher, deeper love. And our guest speaker, Reverend Verona, Garland's topic, Inimitable, Imminent, Ineffable, you. Wait for it, because you'll hear a lot more about Reverend Verona in a little bit. So I would invite all to join as we say together our statement of being, which is really what we're all about, yeah? We believe that life is good, that God is all there is, and that love is the only power. We are a welcoming and inclusive community of inspired individuals caring for and about each other and the entire planetary family, bringing the gifts of active compassion and kindness to the world. Our purpose is to transform lives, build dreams, and reveal God through education, music, prayer, service, generosity, and play. Thank you. So as we begin our service, we begin with a few moments of silence where we get to settle in and adjust our posture in a way that we can drop our breath down into our center core. And I will ring the crystal bowl in a minute to begin that silent contemplation. And the contemplative thought for today, I consciously choose love as my guiding principle. So just think about that phrase and let the words wash over you as you move into the silence, internally reflecting and listening at a deeper level. I consciously choose love as my guiding principle. So as we bring our attention into this moment, this now present experience, I know that there is only one infinite source and energy that enlivens and creates. This one is infinite love, joy, compassion, the creative spirit that moves through everything, every living, sentient being. I know that I am a part of that one, and that everyone within the hearing range of my voice knows that for certain, because that is the principle of life. This day is a blessed day to celebrate life in all its forms, in all the beauty and wonder and curiosity of how life expresses through each individual, unique, loving expression of spirit. This is a day to celebrate life in all its fullness, the creative spirit at work with the face of God in each one we encounter, and seeing all the many blessings that pour forth moment by moment as we become awake, aware, and alive to life. So as we open this Sunday service, I know that there is a great sense of connection to that life force, to that energy, and that we leave this service uplifted, inspired, and better informed in ways of expressing our love light and shining it wherever we go, because that is what we are made for. So with a heartfelt sense of celebration, gratitude, and thanksgiving for this basic truth, I just resonate with it and delight in it and release it, knowing that love and law creates in its own inimitable way. And we just allow and release and know that it returns multiplied and manifold in many, many ways. If anything resonates with you that I have said, please confirm it with me by saying, "And so it is." Miss Amber, our beautiful song mistress.
Song mistress, I'll take it. Thank you, Denise. Let's make sure this one is off. Actually, I'll leave it on. You can mute the green one. Good morning. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so excited for the message today. Sending love to our senior minister, Reverend Robert, in his rest today. We love you, and we can't wait for you to come back next week. It's still Pride Month. It's still Pride. Happy Pride. And so, hey, Bobby, myself, Meg was there, and Marcia, that I saw a lot of people there, and it was so wonderful. Everybody was waving their flags. You know, some had their individual flag, you know, the purple and pink. Some had the new rainbow flag, the all-inclusive rainbow flag, and everybody was flying their flags, and it was just such a wonderful event. There was love in the air. Everybody you looked at was smiling at you. You didn't have to like smile at somebody and worry if they were going to smile back. It was just there. And the greatest flag I've ever flown is the flag of love. And so I was going to sing a Winona Judd song today, but I decided to take it back to Karen Drucker because nobody did it better. This song was written by Karen Drucker and Michael Gott, and I'll bring it to you today. There is only love. You can turn it up for me just a little bit. The music, just a little bit. In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am. letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. When I lose myself, when it seems I've lost my way, when I go inside and quiet my mind, I hear Spirit gently say, there is only love. There is only love. A love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. A love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only. Now I want you to sing that with me. You can keep your eyes closed, but know that there is only love. No doubt or fear, only love. A love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only, only love. There is only love. There is only love. A love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love. Only love. Only love.
Well, that said it all. Maybe we should just go on home. No. Actually, we've saved the best because Reverend Robert, bless his heart, not only is resting, but he provides guest speakers. And I was on somebody's Facebook page yesterday and website just checking out our speaker because I love the social media presence. Powerful. Tons of photos. So let me introduce to you our guest speaker, Reverend Verona Garland, who I'm told will be having her panel interviews next month, and she's heading towards ordination trail. Yay! So we're so happy that she came down to visit with us in person from Oakland. She is a prosperity mentor. Who doesn't want one of those, right? And a certified freedom life coach. She's affiliated with the Agape International Spiritual Center in LA. People know Agape, yes. And serves as a staff outreach minister at Centers for Spiritual Living in Palm Springs, where our Reverend Tony Bradford lives, but his license is sponsored here at our center. So shout out to Reverend Tony. So Reverend Verona is a best-selling author. The title of the book, Destination Freedom, Flying Out of Debt. Who wouldn't want to fly out of debt? Her ministry includes global experiential speaking and prosperity play workshops, spiritual guidance sessions, and life rituals. She was a featured presenter at the Centers for Spiritual Living Conference in Nairobi, Kenya. And you may find Reverend Verona wherever life beckons in joy, exuberance, and flow. You can find out more through veronagarland.com, her website. And I'm telling you, that Facebook page is outstanding. She's got so many great photos and daily reels that are just gems, little snippets that take like 5 seconds. So maybe go on her Facebook and look at the couple, the 2 ducks that are walking down the park. They look so sweet. So without further ado, please help me welcome Reverend Verona.
Sweetheart, very much.
You're welcome.
So good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Here we all are, ready to co-create together. I'm so happy to be here. I was talking with Denise, and I didn't say this to her, but I just realized I've known Reverend Robert maybe 30 years. Wow. Yeah. We've known each other a long, long time. So anyway, I'm happy to be here, happy to give him an opportunity to do the ultimate in self-care. For ministers, take a Sunday off. So today we're going to co-create together. And the reason I say that is, yes, I am up here. Yes, I have my iPad. Yes, I have notes that I think I'm going to use. Spirit knows what it is I'm going to do. However, we're co-creating together because whatever it is I say could not transform our lives in the same way without each one of your presence here. The energy that we all bring together, that we're all assimilating this all together. So our co-creation time. So the title, Inimitable, Imminent, Ineffable You. And the thing about this is, where within do these qualities reside in you? What's your resonance quotient? And when is this all unfolding? When is it happening? So before we start, I always like to start with a joke. Denise and I were talking, and she was telling me about the semantic coach that she is, and I didn't know, Denise, the specifics of it, but I always like to start with a joke because for me, it opens my heart channel up even more. So there was a man who went to the grocery store with his kid. The kid was a toddler, I want to say. And so they're in the grocery store, and the toddler is screaming and yelling and kicking and fussing, and they're just on and on and on. And the man keeps going up and down each aisle and says, "It's okay, Johnny. It's okay, Johnny. We'll be done soon, Johnny. It's okay, Johnny." And the kid just keeps on and on and on. I don't know, maybe it was the kid's nap time. I'm not clear what it was. So finally, when they got to the cashier who had been seeing this, because it was a small store, people could hear and experience what was going on with this kid. When they finally got to the cashier said to the dad, "Wow, look at how loving you are with your child. Look at how wonderfully loving and compassionate you are with your child. I heard you just going on and on and on, telling Johnny it's going to be okay, it's going to be all right, we're going to leave soon, we'll be going home soon." And the dad looked at her and said, "Oh, my child's name is Gregory. My name is Johnny." Isn't that great, don't you? That's just, a form of love, a way that way that love happens. So let's dig into the juiciness of our topic today. So first, I'd like to start with some definitions. What is inimitable? Now, there are a lot of definitions, and I'm going with the ones that Spirit gave to me at this time. So inimitable is something that is unparalleled. It is peerlessly authentic. It is a unique expression of the infinite creative intelligence. Think about that, an infinite expression of the creative intelligence. So that is inimitable. Second word is imminent. Now there are 2 words, imminent and imminent. Imminent is the word that we're using here because imminent is a spiritual awakening. It's a realization. It's something that happens in the moment. A spiritual awakening, a realization, and I'm sure we've all had those. I've had gazillions of them, where we have a spiritual awakening, and you go, "Oh, got it, Spirit, got it." So That's where we're going with imminent. And ineffable. What is ineffable? Ineffable is a state of consciousness beyond all language. It's an ethereal experience. And we've all had those too, when it's ineffable, when things are exactly in a way that you cannot put into words, no matter what languages you speak. Something that just doesn't, it defies putting it into words. So about these three things, inimitable, imminent, and ineffable, they are all expressions of or versions of love. You know, the topic this month, I agree with Denise that this is the best topic to me, because love is all there really is. Love is everywhere, it's all there is. However, so I thought, what about love? How do we quantify love? So there's a couple of ways. One definition for love, love is a measurable biological process. And by that I mean, I know you've all heard this: dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin. Yeah. The reason I say oxytocin like that, I have 2 adult children, and oxytocin is what happens when you're pushing a baby out. and those are like quantifiable. Scientists have quantified these are expressions of love. However, the other thing that love is or can be is love is a subjective experience. It is our soul's resonance, and mostly for me, the definition of love is our recognition of our oneness with the divine. We are one with the divine. Each one of us is the way that spirit experiences itself on the planet. Think about that. I, you, we are the way that spirit experiences itself on the planet. It always puts me in such a state of awe, yet I know this is the truth of what it is. So I'd like to share a story with you. A story about love. That there was, long ago, beside a forest, there was a great stone near a flowing river. Travelers sat upon the stone, animals found shelter beside it, and children played around it. The stone was proud of its strength. One day it said to the river, "Why do you move so much? You bend around every obstacle. I remain strong and unchanged." The river replied, "You are strong, but have you seen the valleys beyond this place? Have you felt the oceans where I travel?" The stone laughed and said, "You have no strength to stand against anything." And the river answered gently, "My strength is not in resisting life, but in moving with it." The years passed, the rains came, the seasons changed, and the river continued to flow. Slowly, patiently, the river shaped the stone, smoothing its rough edges, revealing its hidden beauty. The stone finally said to the river, "You have changed me." And the river said, "I have not taken anything from you. I have uncovered what was already within you." The stone understood that the river was never an enemy. The river's love had not weakened it, it had transformed it. So this is to know that the river does not defeat the stone by force. It awakens the hidden beauty inside by love. And in our lives, the river is divine love moving through us as itself, as life itself. Life is really filled to overflowing with love. Despite what we hear and see when we open up our phone, open up our computer, open up any electronic device today, and we see all these human appearances, and that's what they are, human appearances. They are not the truth of the divinity within and as each one of us. So the river is the divine love moving through us, and the stone can be our own hardened beliefs when we forget our connectivity to the one power and the one presence. The river is love that reveals our innate oneness within. So let's go back to the top with those words, inimitable, imminence, and ineffable. How do they fit in with love? Because now we know about love, and love is everywhere present. We are made in the image and likeness of the divine because the divine so loves us, so loves itself as us, that we are actually the perfection of the divine. Do you ever walk past a mirror or a plate glass window or anything that has a reflection and say to yourself, ooh, look at God there. Look at God walking past that. Look at the godliness in me. Because that's what we are. That's what we are. That's what we bring. That's who we are. So the ways we can bring love, which is everywhere present, there's not enough words to talk about love, into these 3 words that showed up for me. And I want to say before I go on with this, the 3 words that showed up for me, when I was a kid, my parents, they had a lot of great ideas. They raised 5 children. I'm the middle child, if you want to know. They raised 5 children. And they had a lot of things that were rules in our home. One of the rules in our home was we each got our own dictionary, age appropriate. And then at the dinner table, my father would ask, he would just throw out a word. Girls, what's the definition of this word? What's the definition of that word? So words and I have an ongoing love affair. And I didn't know really until I got to be maybe in high school and went to other people's houses that other families didn't do this. That was just my parents doing this. And I'll tell you a couple other things too. My parents saw to it that each one of us spoke another language. Je parle français. And my parents also saw to it that each of us played an instrument. Those were the rules in my home. But the dictionary, and we were required to read books too and turn in book reports to our mother. Yes, however, the dictionary thing makes me just love words. And when when Spirit gave me these 3 words, inimitable, imminent, and ineffable, I thought, yay, let's have fun with these. So how do they fit with love? So first, let's start with inimitability. In love, okay, Spirit takes a previously known form when it comes to inimitability. Now, I went to our Science of Mind textbook, our big old thick 700-page book that I love. And in the Science of Mind textbook, there is a reading that says, all men seek some relationship to the universal mind, the oversoul, or the eternal spirit, which we call God. And life reveals itself to whomever is receptive to it. That the spiritual universe must be of pure intelligence and perfect life, dominated by love, seems an inevitable conclusion. So once again, dominated by love. So that starts us out with these words on the inimitability of love. The next one, imminence in love. Imminence of, in, as, and for love. Imminence is the present seeking expression as and through us. Imminence is a form of emergence because imminence is us opening up to say, what is wanting to emerge through me, Spirit? Really, literally opening our hearts and minds to say, during our meditative time, during our contemplative time, during our journaling time, during our prayer time, any of the times that we do all our wonderful, fabulous spiritual practices. What is wanting to emerge through me? What is it that's wanting to emerge through me? And another quote I have for you about this is, I love this book, Quiet Talks with the Master by Eva Bell Werber. And in that it says, the love you feel in your daily contacts and which you give out as you pass up and down life's highways is, after all, but a product of the great eternal love with which the foundations of the world were builded. And so learn to come and rest in that eternal love which always surrounds you. So here we are, it's imminent. It's always surrounding us. It's always with us. It's through us, at us, and is us. I'd even wager to say it turbocharges our lives, the life of Spirit in, through, and as each one of us. And then this next word, ineffability, the ineffable. Ineffability is when the heart knows what the mind cannot explain. Think about it. There are times when the heart knows what the mind cannot explain. And what showed up for me to illustrate this is an Apache saying, and it says, love is not merely spoken, but is carried in our actions. Yeah, love is not merely spoken, but is carried in our actions. So these things, now we know how these words, how these wonderful things, the inimitable, the imminent, and the ineffable, how they dovetail with and co-create and just do the dance with love. And so for me, as just like you, I am a spiritual being, yet I'm having a human experience. So part of having that human experience is I want to be however I want to be. I want to have an action item. You know, I've been on a lot of board of trustees, and I've been to a lot of meetings in spiritual centers, and you've probably been also, because I'm sure you're of high service here. And when you get done, there's things that people are, like, what are the action items that someone, okay, here's my action item, here's your action item. So I understand that being in this mobile ashram that we call our body gives me the desire to have action items. So I'm thinking, how do we use these three words and how they interconnect with love? In what way can I make it a practicality in my life? So what showed up for me is there's three practical ways. The first way is we get to yield. Yield to the inimitable. Yield to the unparalleled love of the divine. Open up and know that you are loved beyond measure. We are loved beyond measure. And for some of us, that might be a challenging thing to take in because you may not have been raised that way. I wasn't raised that way. I was raised with love. However, I was raised with some very strict standards. And if we didn't meet up to those standards, well, maybe things weren't so happy-go-lucky. So first thing is yield. Yield to the divine love. The divine love is ours to have. It is, it is, it is. The second way is to trust. Trust the imminent realization of the divine presence within and as each one of us. Trust it. Neville Goddard says that trust is faith in unseen realities. Yeah, trust is faith in unseen realities. Just trust. And we all trust anyway. We all got here in some sort of vehicle today. When we went outside, got in that vehicle, we trusted it was going to turn on. We trusted that there'd be roads for us to drive here on. We trusted that when we got here, we would be able to park that vehicle. I mean, that's just a small version of trust, but trust is a part of our everyday life. If you're like me, when I woke up this morning, I trusted that there'd be hot water in my shower before I got, when I got up and got going. So trust is the second way, because trust is actually the mental equivalent of the foundational love of the divine. Think about it. We talk about mental equivalence a lot here in Science of Mind, and I love it. But it is the foundational love of the divine, making itself known. So, yield, trust, and the third thing, align. Align with the ineffable. Align with that state of consciousness no matter what's happening. Align with the state of consciousness of the divine no matter what is happening. We have all come here at this time of transformation and transmutation. Every single one of us, before time began, raised our hand and said, I want to be on the planet when they have one of the biggest transformations they've had in a long time. And it's not just in the United States of America, it's all around the world. So allow ourselves to align with the power, the strength, the fortitude, the perseverance, the everything that we chose to come here for. Because I'm sure you've heard this before, it is for times such as these that each one of us has come. Yeah, what's going on in the world? We're here for it. We're here for the healing. We're here for the transformation. We're here for the transmutation. Each one of us in our own unique and inimitable ways. So, those three ways, yield, trust, and align. Yield, trust, and align with the inimitability, the imminence, and the ineffability of the love of the divine. So we have all these tools now. We can go out in the world and use them. However, you might be thinking like I would be thinking if I was sitting in your seats. Well, that's really interesting. How's that working in her life? And in what way does it show up? So I want to share with you, I was being with this in the shower this morning about the ways that it works in so many ways. But here's something that happened to me last week. I am divorced, okay? And happily, I'm happy to be divorced. However, the divorce that I experienced was not amicable. And first the non-amicability started with the two of us, and then we got the lawyers involved, and boy, oh boy, was there a lot of gnashing of teeth, and a lot of all sorts of things. Lower level vibrations, let's call it that, okay? And so when this divorce happened 16 years ago. When it finally was over, there was no love lost between us, and there was no communication. Now, we happened to share two wonderful adult children, and so there was the opportunity because of them, they're in their 30s, that something could happen. Nothing happened. I did my forgiveness work. I did forgiveness exercises ad nauseum. I did forgiveness for years and years and years, and allowed myself to know I got to cut that cord with the golden scissors of love. I got to cut it, and I got to go on with my life. And he got to go on with his life, and we would be just fine, even if we could not be, quote-unquote, friends. And I thought nothing of it. I mean, I just realized, okay, Spirit, this is the lesson for both of us, and if we stay in the expansiveness of the divine, we'll learn the lesson. Last year, our daughter got married, and at the wedding, we were civil to one another. No conversations, but civil to one another because it was our baby girl's day, all right? And I just thought, well, I guess that's how it's going to be for the rest of our lives. Last Saturday, when I was crawling into bed to get ready for bed early because I was speaking someplace else, Austin CSL, I got a phone call. It was my former husband. So I want to be transparent with you. When I picked up the phone, I said, yes, what do you want? Okay, I'm just being transparent. And he said, well, how are you? I said, I'm fine, what do you want? And then he started talking about some things that are going on with him and some other things. And I said, well, I'm going to sleep because I get up and serve tomorrow by speaking, so could we cut to the chase? And I admitted, and he said, I'm calling you because something has overtaken me, and I'd like to be your friend again. I'd like there to be some love between us again. I would like that. I'm asking you, are you open to that? You know that saying, you could have knocked me over with a feather, you could have knocked me over with a yeah, because I really had come to believe that this was not going to happen in my life. And then I thought about it, and I realized I had used these tools, yielding to the inimitable love, trusting the imminence of the divine within me, and aligning with the ineffable of the divine within me. I'd been doing this for years and years and years and years and years and years, and really didn't think about it, because we know, the higher, deeper love. We know about that, and that there's no end to love, and there's no beginning to love. It just is. And so I took a deep breath and said, yes, yes, yes. Let's be friends. Let's let love lead the way. Let's let the love that we embarked upon years ago, possibly, let it show us the way. And then that was it. And then we said, okay, I was like, okay, I got to go to bed. I'm speaking in the morning. And he was doing something else too. However, I was, and still am, it's still giving me God bumps. I was stunned, just stunned, what love can do. And we all know, because we're metaphysicians here. We know. TSRW. This stuff really works. However, I was just to a place like, and I still am, to a place of awesomeness and trust and faith and just sheer delight. So if you use these tools, and these are tools that we all know, we put different English words to them. If you allow yourself to yield, trust, and align, who knows what could happen? Who knows what can show up in your life? So I am giving you a challenge today. Yes, a challenge today to allow yourself to step into your soul resonance quotient. Your soul resonance quotient, which is defined by love. Pure love, simple love, easy love, accessible love, all sorts of love, and allow yourself to be the inimitable, the imminent, and the effable love that you are. Let's pray. Mother, Father, God, I am so grateful. Grateful to know that there is one power and one presence. How glorious it is to know that one power and that one presence is the serendipitous. It is the synchronistic. It is all that there is, the power and the presence that is the circle itself, yet with no circumference, yet is the center of this very circle. The power and the presence that is everywhere present, yet is never in absence. The power and the presence that is the essence and the expression of everything that walks and hops and skips and flies and skips and rolls and runs and so much more. How wonderful it is to know that there is no nook, no cranny, no spot where God is not. How glorious it is to know that I am who and what God is, that each one of us here is who and what God is, that each of us is God experiencing it itself. Spirit, the universe experiencing itself in delight, in adoration, in love, in joy, in harmonizing prosperity, in grace, in beauty, in harmony, in artistry, and so much more in, through, and as each one of us here. And so I speak the word, and I declare and know that each of us is an emissary of the highest and the greatest and the most infinite love. And in this being the emissary, that each one of us is filled to overflowing with the imminence, the ineffability, and the inimitability of the divine. I declare this, I affirm this, and I know that this is true. And as I know this truth, that as each one of us vibrates the love of the divine, that our planet is healed, all of our communities are transformed, and all is well. I give thanks for these words. I give thanks for all the blessings, and I give thanks for the knowingness that all is truly well and in divine right and perfect order. And so it is. Amen. Ashe. Aho. It is done. Thank you.
Wow, you said it all. Wow. Now, if that talk doesn't rev you up, I don't know what will, right? And I love the stories because it's in the stories that we remind ourselves through laughter and through example and experience how to be the greatest version, the greatest loving, compassionate, kind individual that we all are, and have to be reminded of sometimes when we get distracted or have one foot in the past and the other foot in the future, and we miss the present moment. So let's wake up ourselves with this feeling of gratitude, because in this place of gratitude, our heart opens even wider. This spiritual community survives because of people's generosity and supporting where they're spiritually blessed and nourished. It's called offering time. And I know that for, at least for me, one of the things that I love to experience is tithing on unexpected income, because it pours in all the time in delightful and unexpected ways, large and small, and to just notice it and to say how blessed we are by it, and then we give back. So as we put up the screen, I would invite you all to join with me in saying our affirmation, abundance affirmation together. I recognize the presence of God within as the source of my abundance. Out of my abundance consciousness flows everything I could desire in life. With gratitude and thanksgiving, I now participate in the flow of uninterrupted abundance. This prosperous experience is evidence of my abundance consciousness. And know that there are many ways to support this spiritual community. You can certainly mail in good old-fashioned checks to our new P.O. Box 804 in Monterey, California, 93942. You can text to give on your phone with the number on the screen, 831-246-9694. Or you can donate online at montereycsl.org and click on the donate button. And for those in the sanctuary, if you are an online giver, you can put one of those $100 bill laminated things that they're in the chair backs, just to remind you that you give online, and there's a tangible way of reminding ourselves. I like to be a conscious giver, so I pay attention to how I circulate my good in the world in many different ways. And I will tell a brief story. Last Sunday, Father's Day, I made a couple Hawaiian leis, my first creativity adventure into making fresh flower leis. Remember that? So I made one for my husband, and I made one for Reverend Robert. That evening, we went to dinner on Father's Day, and the waitress commented on the lei that my husband was wearing, and he gave it to her at the end of our service. Because he said, I've worn this all day, and she will have a delightful time wearing it the rest of her shift and talking about the lei and connecting with people, her customers, in a new way. She was so loving and sweet with us. And I thought that was such a generous way to circulate Circulate love. So that made her day, made his day, and made my day for seeing that beautiful expression of kindness that my husband always is. So with that, let's move into talking about next Sunday. This is the teaser because guess what? It's a new month. July, the new series topic is Whole No Matter What. Now that should be some juicy subject matter for next month. No matter what, right? We're whole. Reverend Robert's topic for next Sunday's talk is no bad parts. So that's going to be interesting to talk about parts. I'm not quite sure the parts that we're talking about, but they're no bad ones, right? Okay. We'll explore the question, what would my life look like if I honored and loved all of my parts, even those I don't like? So think about that this week. Ponder it, because we're gonna reveal more next Sunday. And with that, I would invite our online audience, both YouTube and Facebook, to be sure to comment, like us, spread the word, follow, invite others, share the talks, because this is a life-transforming philosophy. It will create a greater sense of wholeness and aliveness in every waking moment, because it is a wake-up call to be fully present, practice mindfulness, prayer transforms, lives change, and abundance pours forth the more we believe and trust. So I love the talk this morning. That was such a wonderful call to action. Yay. Thank you. So with that, bye-bye to the on-air people. We love you. Join us again, or re-listen to some great talks more than once, because I always pick up something new when I repeat. So that's the beauty of our digital recordings, is we get to experience Reverend Verona more than once this week or whenever. And also know that our community is here for you in whatever way you need. We have practitioners online. You can go to the World Ministry of Prayer. You can go to Unity and ask for prayer, but we know that the transformative power of prayer is available just by clicking on your phone or on your tablet. That their digital world has created a world that becomes much more connected worldwide. And we are part of a big movement worldwide, particularly in California, because that's where Holmes started, in Hollywood. But yes,